Ah! What's up, guys? It's your boys, RANKDILL and Maxwell, and we are MMA Math. We're back tonight. We made a little video here. We're gonna be doing Hey Maxwell, can you turn your phone down a little bit? So we made a little video here. We're gonna be showing you our top 10 picks for our fights that we want to see in the UFC this next year. So join us in the comments. Let us know who you'd like to see fight this year. Pick number one. A little silly pick, man. But we got Joe Rogan, my hero, and CM Punk. What do you think about this, Maxwell?
That's a silly fight.
It is silly. And you know, Joe Rogan actually said something about this fight. Brendan Schaub asked him, he said, he said, Rogan, how bad do you think that you would beat CM Punk? And he said, as bad as I'd fail the drug test. So it is silly, man. But I mean, you've seen Rogan's kicks, like the videos that he
Yeah,
made from his spinning kicks. Like he could hurt somebody for sure. And he's really good at jiu-jitsu. He's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I know he's a taekwondo. Like he's a big deal in taekwondo back in the day. Anyways, I just thought it'd be fun. It would be fun, man. You know, like everybody would watch that fight too, right?
that's correct.
Everybody
That'd
loves
be like
Rogan, so
that'd be like a Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather fight.
it would be. And Rogan's 51, I think. I don't know. I think he's like 50 or 51. But it would be super funny. And you know, another person calling Rogan out is Kobe, which I don't think that'd be much of a fight, bro. Just be honest.
Nope.
But yeah, CM Punk's fighting tomorrow at UFC 225. We made a prediction video for it on Thursday, so if you hadn't already, check it out. Uh, we're gonna be making prediction videos for all the fights coming up,
That
and
is
that's all
correct.
she wrote. Number two, we got Anthony Johnson and Johnny Bones Jones, Maxwell.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a real good one.
Yeah, it seems like they were gonna set this fight up a while back. I don't like I remember they faced off and stuff, but they never fought. But dude, that is an interesting fight to me with Johnson's power and you know Jones. You know, in our time, he's probably the greatest fighter of all time, right?
Oh, he is the greatest fighter of all time. He's still undefeated.
Yeah,
He's only got one. He's got one blemish on his career.
yep. And it was bullshit too. It was they called it an illegal elbow, but it was actually I didn't think that it was illegal. It was against Matt Hamill, correct?
Correct.
But yeah, with Johnson's
I mean,
power and Jones' skill, I mean that would be an interesting fight to watch.
it would be if
Coming in
Jones
at
would
number
stay clean of drugs.
Oh yeah, coming in at number three, we got Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg. Maxwell, how would you see this fight going, bro?
Woo. I don't know. I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be Cyborg.
You think she would just straight up win it? Like, you think it'd go decision or a knockout, like some kind of
I
crazy
think it'll go.
knockout?
I think it'll go decision. I think Nunez will be her best opponent yet. But who knows?
I completely agree, bro. Um, Nunes has got some crazy power. She punches like, I mean, no disrespect to women, but she punches like a man, you know?
Yeah.
We've seen it firsthand. The one thing that she had trouble with in the past, she got finished by Kat Zingano, and Kat's got some excellent wrestling, and she beat her up. See, the thing about that fight too, though, is she had Kat hurt early in that fight. I mean, and then Kat come back and stopped her. But it's an interesting
Yep.
fight, man. I mean, we really haven't seen Cyborg in any kind of trouble, in any of her fights. I mean, she's got one loss, but it was in a Muay Thai fight, and it was against a world champion Muay Thai, Muay Thai
Yeah.
fighter, excuse me. And I think that the lady that beat her was undefeated. But it would be an interesting fight. I don't know. I don't know how I would see this one
Yeah.
going, to be honest with you.
Maybe in the near future we can get the answer.
Yeah, and they would have to fight at 145. Cyborg couldn't make the weight, and she's tried it,
No,
and
she
she has
couldn't.
successfully made the weight before, but I don't see her cutting now after she's been at 145 for so long.
Yeah.
And she doesn't lose power either when she cuts down, and that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, that's what's scary.
So where do you think that Cyborg would win the fight, in the clinch or in the stand up? What do you think would happen here
I think Cyborg will win in the stand-up.
in the stand up? So you think she would box her up the whole night? I mean, see, because to me, that's where Nunes is the best. Is like her boxing. Like she's got good footwork. I mean,
Yeah.
who was that she fought the other night? I mean, she cracked her nose in the fifth round. Oh man, how
I
can
can't remember.
I'm pulling a blank? Uh, she beat the shit out of her. The girl wanted to
It was
quit, but her corner said
it
no.
was Raquel Pennington.
Yeah, Raquel Pennington. I mean, Raquel ain't no joke either, man. So,
Yeah.
but moving on. The next one on our list, number 4, we got Kamaru Usman and Darren Till. Now this fight right here, dude, this is straight fire.
This will be a monster fight if it actually happens.
Yeah, you got two young blood fighters, like two of the younger guys in the welterweight division, and Usman is from Nigeria. He'll be a star. He's got really good style, uh, like the clothes he wears and stuff. I mean, everybody's always talking about
Yeah.
that, his style. He's got like a Conor McGregor kind of style, I guess you'd say. But he's like a really respectful fighter. I like him a lot. Also think that him and Colby Covington would be a great fight too. Because
I agree.
they're both wrestlers and that might cancel out. Which, if it did cancel each other out, I think Kamara's better on the feet for sure. He's got better hands. He's got better kicks. But man, I think he's gonna be a future champion. I really do. And then the same thing with Till, man. I mean, he just beat Wonder Boy in
They
decision, a
did.
5-round fight. And he missed weight. He had all that crap going on with his girlfriend being in the hospital and stuff. It's just pretty crazy, man, that he's only 25 years old too, and he just beat one of the
Yeah.
best. He beat the number 1 guy in the world. If it wasn't for Tyron Woodley, Wonder Boy would be champion. We'd have a new
Yes,
champion.
he would be.
Which a lot of people were hating on the fight. Me and you watched the fight together, did we? Yeah, we watched that fight together. Um, and you were going for Woodley. I was going for Till. And you kind of knew, like, by the 5th round, that both of us thought that Till won the fight, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, see, when you get on, like, I'm on Twitter, at the RANKDILL and at Maxwell20. We got on Twitter and everybody was hating on Till. I mean, I get that he missed weight, but if you're judging the fight, you got to put that out of your mind, correct? That he missed the
Correct.
weight. I mean, they're still fighting. You got to judge the fight as the fight is. To me, he controlled the octagon all 5 rounds, in my opinion. And then in the 5th round, he dropped him. Which, I mean, if you're going by, the strikes that were landed and stuff like that, I think he landed more strikes too. So the
Yeah.
CompuStrike had him winning it also. I don't know. I just don't get all the hate with Till.
And he also cracked Cowboy's nose too.
Oh yeah, he knocked him out in the 1st round. So now all the doubters can quit doubting. He's legit.
This is true.
And he's gonna be a stud. Since Michael Bisping retired, he's the new English fighter. All right,
Yep.
the number 5 on our list, we got Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier, which is it's coming up July 7th. It's already booked, so we're gonna get to see this fight, and I'm super stoked for it, man. I mean, with DC's wrestling and Stipe's stand up, I mean, this should be a really good fight.
It should be.
Who do you think's gonna have the size advantage, Maxwell?
It'll be Cormier because he always fights bigger.
Yeah, I mean, but he usually fights at 205. I mean, what do you think he's gonna weigh when he comes into this fight?
Probably probably 230.
230. See, if I'm not mistaken, Miocic weighs around 225, 230 usually when he fights. He might weigh about 240 in this fight though. See, because I've
Yeah.
read that he's gonna try to put on a little bit of extra weight for this one. Which I mean, they're giving the advantage, but DC's he's like a smaller frame guy. He's a shorter guy. I mean, you can look if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the size difference on the game. I mean, I know it's a game, but it's pretty realistic compared to what the fighters actually are in height and stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is in my opinion, this is the first super fight the UFC's ever really made. Aside from like Bisbing and GSP, but this is a little bit more significant than that fight because these guys are both on their highest level. They're both champions. DC's trying to be a two-weight champion, a champ's champ.
Yep. He's trying to be the next Conor McGregor.
Yeah, man. And, I mean, this is I don't know, man. I like DC too, man. I know a lot of people used to kind of hate on him, but man, I don't know, man. Since I mean, he stayed in there really competitive with Jones in both fights that they had too. But you can't say
Yeah.
enough
He
about
did.
Stipe either, man. He's beat the best of the best in the heavyweight division, which there is a lot of dinosaurs in that division, but light heavyweight's not just entirely too strong aside from Anthony Johnson, which he's retired now, and then you got John Jones, of course.
Yeah.
But how you see this fight going, man? Like, do you think DC's gonna wrestle him down the whole 5 rounds, or do you think it's gonna be a
I
war?
think it's gonna be a war, and I think Stipe will take it.
You do? I don't know, man. I'm
Yes, I
not. I
do.
haven't decided. I guess if you want to know our picks and our logic behind our picks, subscribe to our channel because see July 7th. It's July 7th, right? Is the card?
Yep.
Well, the Thursday before that, we'll be doing a prediction video. So make sure you subscribe if you hadn't already. Okay, moving on to the next one on our list. I got Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier, number 2.
Ooh.
So, Maxwell, what did you think about their last fight, bro?
It was a bullshit fight. It was horrible.
It
That
was,
ref was
man.
way out of line.
What do you mean by that?
They called it because of the knee.
Yeah, I 100% agree with. See, they were gonna give him time, but I think where it was, if they stopped the fight had to end. Honestly, I mean, it was an illegal knee. He was definitely on his knees and he got kneed in the head. But when
It
I go
was.
back and look at the fight, dude, Poirier was taking over in the later part of the first round. Like
It was.
Eddie was getting hurt, and Poirier's the underground king. That's all you can say about him. He's a brawler. He likes to point in the
Like
center of
to
the
fight.
ring and bring them in. And him and Gaethje was a phenomenal fight. And then, Poirier just beat Gaethje, and he beat him in a really, dude. I mean, he pieced him up. He beat him in a really
Yeah.
nice fashion. And dude, this fight right here to me is just as exciting as any other fight the UFC could put on. And I'm glad they're doing it for a second time.
I am too.
Which Poirier, he's fought for the title before. He got no, he didn't fight for the title, did he? He fought Conor McGregor
Nate.
and McGregor knocked him out.
Yep.
Which he's from Louisiana. We're from Alabama too. Well, I'm from Alabama and Max was from Mississippi. So I mean this, he's kind of close to a local guy. So I pull him for Poirier. I like Eddie Alvarez too though. I like his style of fights.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't know, man. This fight's been booked too. It's July 28th on FS1, man. It's gonna be a free fight. Like UFC has been making some great fights this year already.
They have. You can't beat a free fight.
You can't, man. I'll be excited to do a prediction video on that one too. So the number 7 fight that I've got picked out is uh, Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw Part 2. The last
Ooh.
time they fought, TJ hit him with a 1-2-3 combo and knocked him out with a head kick. But at the end of the first round, Cody dropped TJ. Could have ended the fight, but the time ran out. So how do you see this one going, Maxwell?
I think Gary will get back on track. I think he'll get his title back and get Team Alpha Fail the second title.
Yeah. Well, one thing is, Maxwell, you know, I know you're biased because your favorite fighter is Uriah Faber, correct? Or he was before he
Correct.
retired. Um, I think this is gonna be a close fight. I'm nowhere near wanting to call a prediction for it, but TJ, man, you gotta give TJ credit. He is legit. He beat Henan
He is
Barrow when
legit.
Henan Barrow was unbeatable, you know, to everybody else. He shocked the world when he beat him. So, um, to me, this fight, the first one was super interesting and it was fun to watch. And you know, there's an
Oh, it was
actual
amazing.
yeah, there's an actual hate between these two guys too. You can tell it in the ring too, the way they talk
Yeah.
shit to each other and I don't know, man. What Cody did to Dominic Cruz, like that blew my mind. That might be the most surprising fight I've ever watched in my life. When he was dancing in the ring, you know,
Yeah. And pointing and laughing at him.
yeah. But then you think about Dillashaw and what he did to Henan Barrow a couple years ago. I mean, like, dang, dude, like both these guys they're already past their age on what they've accomplished. Both
Yes.
of them both of us beat guys that they weren't supposed to beat and they shouldn't have beat. You know, I mean, this is just the new blood. This is the new era of the sport, and I'm just glad we're getting to watch it, man.
It is.
But when we were making this list, Maxwell wanted me to put T.J. Dillashaw versus Uriah Faber, but I thought maybe we should go with Cody instead since Uriah's retired. You know.
Yeah, but that's a dream fight though.
Yeah, it is. And another thing is, both these guys are wrestlers. They're like really legit wrestlers. So I mean, I think the wrestling will cancel each other out, and we'll have another stand-up battle like the last fight. Which Cody, like, if he
Oh yeah.
locks up that right hand, you know, it's nighty night, TJ. But same thing with
Mhm.
TJ. If he gets one of those crazy kicks off, you know, it's nighty night Cody. So I mean, this fight could go either way, and I'm totally excited about it. I think this one's July 7th too. Same night as DC and Stipe.
Yep, I agree. I believe it is.
Whoops, I think I made a mistake here. I put this video on here twice. Oh, maybe I didn't. Maybe this is a different round. Sorry.
Wow, that's a long fight.
Yeah, I put 2 rounds in there instead of one. Well, my bad. I guess that's the one thing about our show. I mean, if you didn't know, if you're watching this at a later date, we do our show live, so we're gonna fuck up quite a bit, which is cool, man. Cause I mean, it's fun. This pretty entertaining fight here. But you know, here's another thing I wanted to bring up too. While since we got the extra time, the next guy in line's got to be Morales, right? After what he did to Jimmy Rivera.
I think you're right.
So I mean, the winner of this fight's gonna have to fight him, and we don't know that he couldn't beat both these guys. Like he's a scary
Yep.
dude, man. He's got some crazy power. He's got some crazy power. Right there was the 1-2 kick, the 1-2 head kick that I was talking about earlier. That's what he knocked him out with in the last fight. So that's something Cody's gonna have to look out for. I think he's gonna be ready for it this time. I think he's gonna kind of know more about what to expect from the fight. You know, he really. I mean, Cody was kind of. I think he was kind of winning, and TJ just caught him. You know.
Yeah. I think he let his guard down.
Let's see another thing about TJ is his footwork, man. His footwork. He's got some of the best footwork in the game, but then you say that, and then you think about the Dominic Cruz fight with
Yeah.
Cody. And Cody's footwork in that fight, if you showed somebody that fight and they didn't know like what all was going on in the UFC, they would think that he was the best. He had the best footwork in the UFC, correct? The way he was dipping and diving on Dominic.
Yeah.
And then what's crazy about that is then Dominic beat Dillashaw. So that's why we call our podcast MMA Math, or our show MMA Math, because that right there just proves it to you. You can't do MMA math. It doesn't work.
Yep.
All right. Hopefully, I didn't get the third round. Okay, number 8 on our list is Khabib Nurmagomedov, or I don't even know how to fucking say his name. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor. Man, this fight is so interesting to me. And if they can get it in Russia, dude, how freaking sweet would that be?
That would be insane.
Like, but when you think about this fight, you see what Khabib does. You see what he does to people. He mauls them, he takes them down, he pounds them out for 5 rounds, like what he did to La Quinta, right? But
Yeah.
the thing about his last fight where he won the title is that La Quinta, he kind of hurt him a couple times. Like he kind of touched him, and I like Quinta, like all due respect, he's not on the same level as Conor McGregor or the Tony Fergusons or the Kevin Lees or even Anthony Pettis. Like he's not on the same kind of level as them, and Khabib just kind of looked
Well,
mediocre in my opinion to them. And another thing is like if you look at Khabib and you say, okay, he's the champion, right? But
yes.
they stripped Conor to give that title to him. So in my opinion, Khabib's not really the champ. I mean, like he's the champion according to the UFC, but I mean he didn't really earn the title in my opinion because he fought what, like a number 10 guy that hadn't even fought in like a year or two. Like I
Yeah.
want to see Khabib, like he's fought Michael Johnson and I know he's fought Edson Barboza, but we've seen other people dominate Edson Barboza now. Look at what Kevin Lee did to Edson Barboza, man. Kevin Lee beat him more impressively, in my opinion, than Khabib did.
Yeah, I agree.
And then if you think about it, like what Tony did to get the interim title, he beat Kevin Lee. To me, Tony's win is way more significant than Khabib's over Al Quinte.
It is.
So for me, it's hard for me not to think, in my mind, that Tony is the champion. But I'm not Dana White. And I'm not the UFC. I'm just a fan. But I don't know, man. I just got a little bit of shadiness, with Khabib winning the title against Al Quinte. What happens if
Yeah.
Al Quinte would have won the fight, man?
That'd be
Like,
insane.
nobody would. I mean, if you reverse the role here and you say Al Quinte won the fight, right? Nobody would think that he
Yeah.
was like the real champion. Nobody would be thinking like that. But everybody just thinks that Khabib is just hot shit. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just kind of
because he's
silly.
undefeated.
Yeah, he is. But I want to see him fight better competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And then, I mean, just thinking about everything Connor's done. Like he went into boxing. Yeah, Floyd kind of made a fool out of him in the later rounds. But I mean, he stayed in there. I think he won 4 rounds in that fight. If you look at the fight, if you really watch the fight, he
Yeah.
won the first 4 rounds, and then he did his thing, you know. Then Floyd did his thing, and then look at how he beat Eddie Alvarez. You know, look, he beat Max
Oof.
Holloway. He beat Max Holloway. Like, think about that, man.
Yeah, he destroyed him.
Look, he knocked out Poirier in the first round. I mean, it's hard to deny what Connor's done and what he is, you know. I mean, and his charisma and everything he's done for the sport. Look, everybody wants to beat Connor now.
Yeah. Hey, I want that super fight.
Yeah, and he set the new bar for what a UFC fighter is.
He has.
But we're fixing to transition to number 9, and that's another Conor fight. Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz, part 3.
This will be a huge trilogy match.
It will be, man, and their first fight. All right, let's recap. Their first fight, Conor come out, dominated the first round. I mean, he had Nate busted up, bloody. He beat him up real good, and then Nate come out in the second round, and Conor he kind of looked like he gassed himself, and
Yeah.
then Nate took over, got him on the ground, and choked his ass out. And then you go to the second fight, and the second fight was super competitive, and I think the UFC's for their 25-year whatever, their top 25 fights of all time, put the Conor Nate 2 fight as their number 1 fight of all time, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, think about all the fights in the UFC, and they're saying that was the best fight ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, people are going to say, like, why does Nate deserve to fight Conor again? Because the last time they fought, he lost to him. But if you go back and watch the fight, I mean, it was super close. I mean, it could have went either way. I actually was thinking, man, this could be a draw, you know, because we were all watching. I know
Yeah.
that was, like, for my birthday party, because I remember there were, like, 10 or 11 people here that night. And we were like, yeah, man, this is super close. A couple of guys said Conor, like I know me and Super Hurt were saying Nate. I don't remember what you said. Do you remember who you thought won the fight?
I said Nate.
Yeah, see, I could see it both ways though. Like nobody got robbed in the fight, you know. But I don't know. Like I see Nate when he fought Rafael dos Anjos and got dominated. I've seen him get beat by other people before too. Like he doesn't match up with some people so well, but for some reason, when you put Conor and Nate together, they match up perfectly for a fight. Like all their fights are going to be, 100 every time. You know they're going to
Mhm.
be fun to watch. You know Nate's going to be in there talking shit. You know Conor's going to be talking shit to Nate. Like it's super interesting to watch. I don't know what it is about them, but it's just like that Nate legit hates Conor, and Conor is trying to sell the fight. That's just the way it
Yes.
is. But it's a super interesting fight. I mean, how do you see the third one going, Maxwell? Like if they did fight again, could you even know now? It's been so long since they fought.
It's been, yeah, like you said, it's been forever since they fought. Anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see a finish. Nate's got the only finish in the trilogy so far, or in the 2 fights. So I mean, I want to see a finish in the third fight
Me too.
and to cap it off. Because whoever wins in the third fight, like if it goes to decision, it's super close again. Like you could say, okay, we might have a fourth fight. I want to see a finish. I want this trilogy to be done. And that brings us to our number 1 fight that we're most anticipating. Max Holloway and Brian Ortega. T-City. Super impressive fighters. Both these guys they're the shit. Both of them are. You got
They are.
Holloway with his awesome boxing, his awesome kickboxing. He can grapple too. Like he's good off his back. Uh, T-City, he's got, I mean, as we seen in his last fight with Edgar, he's got some hands on him. Uh,
He does.
he had been criticized in the past for late finishes in fights, like he'd finish his fights in the third round. I think it was like three in a row that he got a choke or he submitted the guy in the third round. But then he comes out against the best guy he's ever fought, and Frankie Edgar, and knocks him out in the first round with a huge uppercut. Like it was almost the Francis Ngannou level uppercut there.
It was. And nobody saw a knockout coming.
Oh no, man! I thought he might catch Frankie coming in a guillotine or something like that and choke him out. Some
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, he's like legit black belt, top of the line black belt. So, but then you got Max Holloway. Max Holloway's beat Jose Aldo not once but twice, and it wasn't in 8 seconds. I mean, he Jose was throwing hard at him in their second fight, and he still come back and beat him, stopped him. I mean, you can't take nothing away from Max Holloway. I like his style too. I like the way he talks, and it is what it
I do
is.
too.
So, but this fight right here, man, these are my two. I think these are my two favorite fighters. Or maybe not. Maybe Nate Diaz is probably my favorite fighter now, but these two guys right here they're up there with Nate Diaz to me. So it's hard for me to call this fight because I don't know. I wish they were in two different weight divisions, kind of, so they can both be champion. Because both, I
Yeah.
think this might be another trilogy fight. I could see,
Could be.
I could see T-City winning the first fight, and then Max Holloway winning the second, and then the third one coming down to whoever, or vice versa, it being a close fight. Max Holloway gets the finish, and then they get a rematch. I could see it being a trilogy fight. I really could.
But there's only been one trilogy fight this whole entire time.
Uh, who's that? Couture and Liddell?
Ortiz and Liddell.
Ortiz and Liddell. I thought they only fought twice.
But they had a trilogy.
I don't know, Max. We might have to look that up. I think Liddell and Couture had a trilogy fight for sure. And didn't Orlovsky and Tim
Sylvia?
Sylvia? Yeah.
They may have.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple of them. I don't know. I could see a trilogy fight out of this. Connor and Nate are gonna have a trilogy fight though. They're gonna have to.
Yes.
'Cause, I mean, that's the only fight that Nate really wants, I think. Besides like somebody like GSP, somebody with a bigger name. But
Yeah.
man, this fight is so interesting to me. I mean, Max Holloway and Ortega, like that's the best of the best. I
Yes.
don't even know how I see it going out. I think Holloway's got the better stand up for sure, but Ortega could catch him in some kind of crazy submission, out of nowhere. How do you kind of see it going, Maxwell?
I see Ortega dominating the first fight with a submission. They come back for the second one. Max Holloway will be looking for it, get the win. And for the second fight, and if they have a trilogy, like you say, you never know with trilogies.
Yes, I mean, both of us are looking past the first two fights to see who would win in the third fight. That's kind of crazy, just thinking about it. But I don't know, man. Like this division and then the lightweight division and welterweight division, like all three of those divisions are so stacked. Like, oh my God, there's so many good fighters in each one of these divisions. I don't
They
know.
are.
I mean, if Holloway comes out and beats Ortega, like who does he fight then? I mean, would he fight Frankie Edgar? Would he fight Cub Swanson again? I mean, who would he fight? Nobody, right?
Yep, nobody.
So I mean, I think we're definitely going to get two fights from them, and it'll probably be an immediate rematch. But if
Yep.
not, I just don't see anybody else on their level right now. But
There's some future stars coming up, but they got to prove themselves first.
yeah, man, like you talking about like Doo Ho Choi and some guys like that. I'm trying to think of some
Yeah.
other people in that division. Oh, that kid from New York that fought the other night. That guy was awesome. Gillespie, Gregor
Was.
Gillespie. That
Yep.
that kid's legit. Like I think he's ranked in the top 15 now. He should be. He's Trouble City though, that's for sure. But anyways, we'll go ahead and talk about what all went down today with Yoel Romero. He missed weight by 2/10 of a
2/10.
pound. Yeah, it's crazy. And there was like 3 hours there that nobody knew. Like he had an extra 2 hours to cut weight because he missed it by how much? 3 pounds or no? It
By
was a
one
pound.
pound.
Yeah, about 1 pound. He missed it by 1 pound, man. Like, man, I hate to say this, but Yoel, dude, you're 41 years old. Like, if you can't make the weight, either go up and weight or retire. One or the other.
Exactly.
It sucks, man.
Or at least take a good shit before you get there.
Yeah. Yeah, at least a quarter pound of shit, you know? But what's crazy about it, though, is Whitaker said that he's down to fight. So they are still fighting. I did find that out for sure. I know earlier, if you were
Yes.
watching the live stream, I didn't really know what was going on. I was trying to get the news and let you know as I found out. But they are for sure fighting. It's going to be a non-title fight, which is a bummer. So I guess
Yes.
it's a 3-round fight, too. Well, no, it's a main event, so it'll be
Oh,
5 rounds.
it's 5 rounds. Bleacher Reports reported it's a 5 round fight still. But
Well,
but Whitaker, Whitaker is so pissed off.
well, I mean, he has a right to be. I
Yes.
mean, this is two championship fights in a row that Yoel has missed weight. It's kind
Well,
of
he missed
crazy.
weight. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I love you. I love Yoel, man. He's awesome. I I
He
just
is.
I just don't get it. Like, if you can't make the weight, then why are you fighting for the title in the first? Dana should have made that a thing when he fought Luke Rockhold.
Whitaker. Rock old, yeah. So if you don't make the weight, they're going up.
Yeah, I can see why he doesn't want to go up either. Which, I mean, like he's missed
Yeah.
weight 3 or 4 times now, though. And granted, it's only 2/10 of a pound. Like, couldn't they round that off? I mean, honestly, what kind of
Exactly.
difference does that make? And not to
It's just that.
mention the 2 hours that he was trying to cut that weight. Whitaker was, eating tacos. He's got the advantage now. Like, clearly, we did our picks on Thursday. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We'll do our pick'em shows on the Thursday before the fight. So make sure you subscribe. Um, but like I picked Whitaker in by fourth round TKO. Maxwell picked Yoel to win. Was it second round knockout?
Second round knockout.
Second round knockout. Um, do you still feel that way? Do you still think that Yoel's gonna win?
Well, he did the first fight when he missed weight. He was overweight, and Rockhold bashed him. He came in, took Rockhold and destroyed him. Now he missed weight the second time. I think he's gonna take Whitaker.
Yeah, but here's the one thing about him missing weight this time. Um, the last time against Rockhold, he didn't really even try to cut the weight like he did this time. This time, he had that extra 2 hours to cut the weight while Whitaker had already made weight. And this was my
Yep.
point the other day when we were talking about the new weight cutting rules that Dana's going to put in, where you gotta weigh in at like 4 in the afternoon now, which is going to be like you know how they do the ceremonial weigh-ins that they've already weighed in. They weigh
Yep.
in the morning, and then they have like a ceremonial one where the media and like all the fans can go to. But it's not
Yep.
real. No matter if like say Yoel got up there, if he made weight this morning, at the other weigh-ins, whenever he weighed, they'd say whatever you weighed in the morning, no matter what, even though he does stand on a scale. So here was kind of my thought on this. You have the early weigh-in still, right?
Yeah.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, the day before the fight. Okay, if you make weight, then you're good. You don't have to weigh in again. You go do the ceremonial stuff for the media, and after you weigh in, you make the weight that morning. You're good. If you miss weight, you have to come back at 4 at the ceremonial weigh-ins, and then make the weight, right?
Yep. Right.
So you can't go earlier than that. Like as soon as you cut if you had to cut an ounce, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it at 8 o'clock in the morning, or at 9 o'clock whenever you got it cut. You had to come back
Yeah.
that afternoon at the ceremonials, and then make the weight. So your opponent that made the weight like he was supposed to would have a clear advantage then, because that's several hours there. You would have to rehydrate and everything else.
Mhm.
And I guarantee you that would stop these fighters from missing weight. Because a
Yep.
lot of these guys, like, I don't think Yoel meant to miss weight this time. I really don't, because, I mean, it's for a title. But a lot of these guys, like, look at Mackenzie Dern, dude. She missed weight by 8 pounds. You think that
Yep.
that she didn't mean to do that? I know she did. I know she did it. It's
Yep.
just, it's basically cheating. Uh, I don't know, man. I don't like the way the weight stuff's going. Like they need to implement something like that to where it's not just a 30% purse. I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
think about it. If you get the thanks for the follow, Tasha Kim. I can't read your name. Sorry, Tasha Kim mine something. Uh, what was I saying? I'm sorry.
You're talking about the weight cut.
Yeah, I mean it's cheating, obviously. So, but that's my piece on that. I kind of went off on that for a
But
second. It is a clear advantage, though, man. I don't think it's fair for the guy that does cut weight if somebody comes in overweight and don't even try to cut it. So,
yeah.
but guys, that was our top 10 fights that we want to see. We appreciate you watching. Make sure you subscribe for the future content that we make, and y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy the fights tomorrow.